Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nikki and I am the Managing Director of Ingenious Personnel, which is a recruitment agency. If this is your very first time on our platform, this is where we talk about recruitment. This is where we talk about how to get employed. And this is where we talk about everything that has to do with careers. If that is a topic that you do like and enjoy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the content should you find any value in it. So on today's topic, we are going to talk about the dangers of accepting a counteroffer. Are you perhaps in a transition, moving from one employer to the next, and your current employer has just offered you a counteroffer to stay? What do? Let's talk about the dangers of accepting a counteroffer. Stay tuned. Being in the industry for so long, I have had the privilege to speak to a lot of candidates regarding this topic. I've had the privilege to speak to a lot of candidates or counsel a lot of candidates and make them aware of the dangers of accepting a counteroffer. The stats show that 85% of the people that do accept a counteroffer will leave the current employer within the next 6 months. If you are one of those fortunate ones, the stats show that 90% of the people that do accept a counteroffer will leave the current employer within the next 12 months. So only a portion, which is 10%, really do stay. Why? Why is this? Because there's always a reason that would make you want to leave your current employer. It could be that, you're feeling stagnant in your current role. It could be that you don't get along with your manager. It could be that, there's always various reasons that would want to make you to put yourself out there on the job market. Salary maybe. But there's always a pain, there's always a reason that would make you want to leave your current employer for a new employer. Now, what happens when you then get that position that you have been interviewing for months, for weeks sometimes, and then your current employer comes to you and they counteroffer you? Do you accept? My personal opinion, no, you do not accept a counteroffer. Why? Because, as mentioned, according to the stats, that's what's going to happen. And now remember, there isn't a budget for you at this stage. Your current employer didn't know that you wanted to leave. A lot of candidates then say, please, when we do the recruitment process, they'll then say to us, don't do a reference at my current employer because they don't know that I want to leave. But now with you now having to resign and being counteroffered, you have now exposed yourself to your current employer. So now they know that you want to leave. The trust that they had in you has been broken. And once trust is broken, trust cannot be, it's not something that you gain overnight. They now are aware that your loyalty does not lie with the company anymore. This could be dangerous for you because when there's promotions happening within the business, you will not be promoted because the loyalty of your company, the loyalty that, there's no loyalty with you and with the company because you wanted to leave. Also, when there's bonuses in play that's going to take place or increases within the business that would take place, you would not be considered because what happened? What happened was if you were due for a increase and then the increase was due maybe at the end of the year, but now your resignation comes in March. What your employer then does is they take your increase that was due to you and they retain you with your own increase. So if you were due for that increase, you will not get that increase because it's already been given to you. Also, it is much easier and it's much cheaper for them to retain you than go through the recruitment process of replacing you. But what's going to happen is, because your loyalty and the trust is broken, you will be out of there in 6 months, because now your salary is shooting high because they had to retain you. They are going to try and find somebody cheaper to replace you. So those are the dangers of accepting a counteroffer. Tip number 2. So we spoke about the dangers, or we are speaking about the dangers of accepting a counteroffer. Tip number 2 is this. Accepting a counteroffer is an insult to your intelligence. Why am I saying this? Because if your current employer really valued you, why must they wait until you threaten them to leave? Now, by you threatening them to leave, they are actually buying you to stay. That is an insult to your intelligence. Why would you want to threaten people in order to value you? Why do you want to threaten people in order for them to realize your worth? Because if they really, really noticed your worth in the business, and if they really valued you as an asset in the business, they could have given you what you were asking for. There shouldn't be a need for you to go to another employer, go through all that intense process of interviewing, and then only accept a counter offer of people that really, that you at that stage thought that they do not value you. Nothing has changed. If you wanted another position, for instance, and if the reason for you wanting to leave is because you wanted growth opportunities, and now you've been given that growth opportunity within the business, ask yourself this question. Why did it have to take you to leave in order for them to realize that they are losing an asset? That, for me, is an insult to your intelligence. So that is tip number 2. Now let's move on to tip number 3. So lastly, what I want you to think about is that, there was always a reason, or there is a reason why you would consider leaving your current employer. Always go back to that reason. Even if you are counter-offered, always go and find your pain, because there was a pain that made you want to leave. Because once you find your pain, you will then realize, or you will know, or understand, or get to understand what is it that made you want to leave in the first place. Because you also want to ask yourself, are you always going to be put in a position where you have to threaten your current employer, or where you have to threaten people to value you? Are you always going to be put in a reason where you have to threaten people to realize your worth? Do you not want to join a company, or do you not want to be with a company that will realize your worth and give you what you deserve anyway, without you having to go through all the steps of going through the interview process and wanting to leave, and then being counter-offered, and then people insulting your intelligence? Do you not want to be with a company that will immediately acknowledge your value within the business and take you as an asset within the business, and you do not have to go through what you went through? So that's what I want you to always remember when you are put in a position of being counter-offered. Also, you do not want to waste other people's time, because now it will damage your reputation with a lot of recruitment agencies, or with a lot of consultants, or even companies, because you have now gone through the entire process. You've wasted everybody's time. You've actually taken a position that could have been for somebody else that maybe could have taken the job, and you have now wasted that time. You don't want to waste other people's time, because it gives you a bad reputation in the industry. I hope that you did find value in this content, and I hope that the next time you are faced with a counter offer, you will say no, thank you, because people will respect you for that. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching me. And if you have not subscribed onto our channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the content if you found value in it. Thank you for your time and keep well.